So now, just coming down here, looking at these notes. So these two triangles, so the way we'll see this, you'll see like triangle, just like a little triangle, and then A, B, C. And then this one, we would call it triangle D, E, F. So these two triangles are what we call similar triangles. And the way we can see that, we have that angle, angle A, and angle D, those are the same measure. Since they both have that same line, those are the same measure. And same thing here. So angle B and angle E, those are the same. And lastly, angle C and angle F, those guys are the same. So we know the angles are all the same. But if we now let's look at some of the sides. So let me change colors here. Let's go to blue. Why not? Favorite color blue. Let's compare. So let's go side AC. So I'm looking at this side in this first triangle. That's equal to 7. But then let's look at this side here. So we'd have side DF. And that one's equal to 14. So if we compare those, just wanting to see how much bigger DF is than AC, so we could just take 14, divide that by 7, and that's equal to 2. So DF is 2 times bigger than side AC. But does that work for these other sides? So 12 and 6, does that work? 2 times 6 gives us 12, so yeah, that works as well. And then lastly, this last one, 10 times 20. Does that work? Yep, so 10 times 2 gives us 20. So the way we can also represent this if we look at those sides, so 10 corresponds to 20, so if we set up a proportion 10 over 20, that's going to be equal to, if we take 7 over 14, or if we took 6 over 12, all those guys are going to be equal. So we know that the angles are all the same, but then also we can multiply the smaller triangle sides by 2 and get the lengths of the larger ones, or to get the lengths of the larger triangle. Yep, lengths is with an E. So those are the two things we found out from those two triangles. So what this means is that those two triangles are similar. So what it means to be similar, if we come down here, if two shapes are similar, then it means that the corresponding angles are congruent or equal. I'll just put are congruent because I want you guys to get used to math, the language. I'll put over here equal. So what that means is, like, if we came over here to angle F, that's congruent to angle C, and angle A is congruent to angle D, so on and so forth. But then it also means, so both of these things have to be true in order for it to be congruent. The corresponding sides are proportional. How do you spell proportional? Proportional. Okay, so in order to be similar again, it needs to be, let's change my colors. 1 has to, the corresponding angles need to be congruent, or the angles need to be equal. And 2, the corresponding sides need to be proportional. Okay, so just a little bit of extra practice. This first video may be a little bit longer, but if we look at it, to identify some of these corresponding sides and the corresponding angles. So these figures are all what we would call proportional. So they're all proportional. So if we look at, we see that in this angle Q, that has the 3 lines. So we would write this angle Q, and we're wanting to write it's proportional. So we would write, or it's congruent to, which one has the 3 lines on that other triangle? Would be angle L. So those two are the same. So then if following that same principle, angle K would be congruent to which other angle? Hey, angle K. So angle K is congruent to angle K. So with that in mind, if we know that these two angles are the same as those two angles, so they would add up to the same amount, and so that would mean that these angles are congruent as well. So we'd have angle M is congruent to angle R. Hope I got those flipped. So let's change that, just kind of keeping order. So it would be angle R is congruent to angle K. Alright guys, so then if we wanted to like also do the sides, let me change another color here. So if we looked at these two, we looked at KL, so KL is between the two line angle and the 3 line, so that would be the same as this line right here. So KL corresponds to, what would that one be? KQ? Yeah. So those two, no real specific notation there, so those two would be corresponding. And then if we looked at, like, let's go this one right here, KM, so that's going from the 2 line angle to out to the other one. So here KR would be that same one, so we'd have KM and KR. Hey, those are my initials, KR. Yay! And then these last ones would be the rest. So we'd have ML and QR. Doesn't really matter the order of which way you write the letters, but that's how those would be written. Alright guys, so go ahead, give these ones a try, B, C, And then if you haven't already tried these ones up here, try B, D, and F. Go ahead, check out my website, and then they'll have the answers on there so you can compare. Alright, see you in the next video.